Knockouts, Tonya TKO here, and right now we're going to be talking about this tweet from a young lady who is talking about how she'd rather be with an abusive, toxic black man than date outside of her race. So I'm going to read that for you, and we're going to talk about some other things on her Twitter page as well as what I think we can do to, for, and about this. Okay? So as you know, I'm Tonya TKO, and I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I hope you learn how to love yourself and each other. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments in our own lives. And so we talk about attracting high vibrational relationships, romantic, platonic, in your family. There are many types of relationships. So on this channel, we give examples of what self-love isn't, what self-abusing through relationship may look like, as well as examples of what self-loving would be like. Okay, so let's jump into this. And so today I'm not going to be showing any graphics or anything in this video. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do a video on Wendy Williams. That's what I'm working on today. But there's so many topics that keep coming in that there's more topics than there are time in the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready for recording my videos today. So what you can do is you can go ahead and do what you need to do. Just put the video on play because I'm going to be doing my makeup, my hair, and getting ready to do this Wendy Williams video, talking about how she has gotten back with her ex-husband Kelvin for business purposes. And we're going to talk about how that relates to self-love. So make sure you look for that video when you see that. Okay, so let's read this this tweet. I'm not saying Serena Williams is a coonette, but me personally, I would rather be with an abusive and toxic black man than to date outside of my race. That's just something I could never do, but she did try her best with black men, so to each his own, I guess. All right. So you know what? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. And shout out to everybody who was able to get their vitamin E before I sold out. So I do sell that once a year, and it is what keeps my skin flawless. So make sure you join my mailing list to be able to get the notifications for when I do my short annual sale or any surprise sales that come up. All right. So this young lady, you know, when I thought about what is it exactly that she's saying, right? So she's talking about how she would rather be with an abusive and toxic black man. And you know what? There's this vlogger by the name of Brooklyn Blue. And you know how they say that some people come before their time. And what that means is when you start speaking ideas that the rest of society may not be ready for. And so they reject your ideas. But then once you plant that seed, it starts coming right back around, right? And then people start parroting what it is that you had said before. All right. So at times like this, I wish that somebody like Brooklyn Blue could be like a superhero that could just come out of the woodworks and just come and just handle this situation. And if anybody knows where Brooklyn is now, let me know, because I haven't seen her content in quite some time. And she was prolific for what it is that she was saying at the time that she was saying it. She has this saying that goes, one-sided loyalty is for suckers, right? And so what we have here is a young lady who is saying, I would rather be with a person who has Negroid features. And then, you know, it's all of it is just so very foolish to me because there are only three races: Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid. Everybody is a mixture of those three races, you know, along the way somewhere. And somebody asked me in one of my videos, I believe it was Dipped in Indigo, she said, well, you know, because I talk about recessive genes and how I want my children to have dominant genes. And the person asked me, what is the down part of having recessive genes? And you know what? If you really think about it, and this person made me think, right? There really is no down part. Like if you take away all else, if you're just talking about genetically, I mean, besides melanin, you know, besides the lack of melanin or whatever, you know, it's just a feature thing. I like Negroid features. I have Negroid features. When my brother ran his DNA, we have no Neanderthal DNA in us. So even though, we'll get into that in another video, right? So what this young lady is saying is that she would rather be with a person who has Negroid features, who is toxic and abusive, than be with a person who has Caucasoidal features. And you know what? For the most part, listen, on the outset, look, this is her choice. This is what she wants to do. More power to you, young lady. Go and do it. But I think that part of the issue is that this is a general sentiment that a lot of people have. That the goal is just to be in a relationship for a woman. And if you're not in a relationship, like, they don't even care what the quality of that relationship is. They don't care. As long as you have a person, you know, those of you who know my videos know what I'm about to say. A person with a penis. As long as you have a person with a penis at home, that's all that matters, right? That's all that matters. As long as you have a person with a penis. And it's like, for some people, that's all that's required. And we did that video. Black men don't get better from us coddling them. Hold on, I gotta wet my sponge. They don't get better from us coddling them, right? If you really think about what we have going on now in today's society, black women are largely unprotected. For the most part, we are living in ghettos where it is made largely unsafe by black men. But nobody's calling them out on it, or not really holding them to task, because people are calling them out on it. But then we have people like this who are like, oh, I would rather be with an abusive black man than a person who doesn't have Negroid features. Then she's calling people coons and coonettes and all this other type of stuff. And I'm just like, men know this. Black men know this. This is why they come to my videos and they're like, you're bitter and you're single. You hate black men. You hate black men. And you know what? Oh, God. I'm doing this series, so make sure that you're on my mailing list, because I'm going to tell you, it's a video series that I'm doing called Will My Man Be Wealthy? 10 Ways to Tell. And so in the video series, so it's going to be available on my website. I'm not putting this up on YouTube. The masses may not be ready for this. So I'm giving this to people who want the knowledge, who are willing to come to my website, support black business, support black women, and invest in the video information. Because what we have going on here on YouTube is we have content creators who are creating content for the platform of YouTube. And we are left holding the bag. Not the bag. We're left holding the bag because we have all of the risk, all of the effort, and they have all of the money. So listen, let's continue. Let's continue going forward. So black men know, look, these toxic black men, they know that you rather not be alone. And then we have people like Wendy Williams, who just talks about, and it's like, we have so many famous women. We have so many women of all different types of walks of life who are letting it be known that they would rather have any type of relationship than no relationship at all. They make it seem like if you don't have a person with a penis, at home, that there's something wrong with you, you're less than, you're lonely, and all this, that, and the other. And this is the narrative that's being spoken out there. Oh, you're lonely. Something's wrong. If you don't have a man that will accept you, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong. And you are lesser and lacking and all this other stuff. And they present this narrative. And it makes things harder for everyone in the diaspora. It makes things harder. Well, not the whole diaspora. It makes things harder in our community. Because then we have men who feel like they don't really have to bring much. Look at what it is that we're doing. Actions speak louder than words. We are letting it be known. I will continue to birth your children. I will continue to uphold the neighborhoods. I will continue to get on the front lines and fight for you, even while you're beating me, cheating on me, harming me, being toxic, dragging me down. I keep showing you all the stats, and it's like, you know what? I just need to create a post on my website so that you could go there and just see the stats, where it talks about a black woman's trajectory in escaping poverty is on par with Caucasian women until she gets with a black man. And then all of a sudden, her net worth begins to dwindle. Her ability, because the black men that they're getting with come with so much baggage that financially they are dragging the women down. Do a Google search, because I'm not gonna be editing this video a lot, because I just want to get the video up so I could get into this whole Wendy Williams situation, right? So we're on par to escape poverty. That is until we get with a black American man. And then all of a sudden, all of his issues, debts and burdens and child supports and all this other stuff come tumbling down onto our shoulders. And then our ability to escape poverty teeters, falters, and goes backwards, right? But look, these are the choices that we're making. These are the choices that we're making. We're allowing ourselves to be bred out. And what it is that we're doing is we are creating a society of people who have Negroid features, who are at the bottom of society. We're at the bottom. The people with the Negroid features at the bottom of society. Meanwhile, the people with the mixed phenotype, the Euro, Asio, Negro phenotype, are the ones who have the money, the ones who have the wealth, the ones whose fathers are doing their cute little daddy-daughter dances. I have not seen not one black man with a Negroid daughter up there doing the whip and nay-nay and showing their dances and, upholding their Negroid daughter. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. If you see some, please send some to me. The ones that have gone viral, I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see more of it, right? So what we're doing is we're creating an underclass of citizens who have Negroid features, so that all of the upper class people, because we know that most black men marry black women, except when you come to the upper echelons. And then when you come to the upper echelons of the black experience here, that's when the men decide that they're going to take their wealth and take it to somebody else's community. And we continue to support them and let them know we will continue to support you. We support you. We will continue to support you, even if you don't support us, even if your resources are going to another community. And you know what's really crazy? It's crazy how so many of these because listen, I'm black. I know what it's like to be black. You know, we started talking about the Negroid features, right? Yes, it's wonderful to be with a person who has not just the Negroid features, but also has the culture. You know, it's nice to be able to have the barbecue and you play the spades or you turn on the music. I'm Caribbean American, so the culture that I grew up in may be there's overlaps because I was raised in America. But me, you know, I love that soca and calypso, and you walk up your bumsy and you at your get together and you just having a good old time, right? I know what that's like, and that's this beautiful thing, right? And we make it seem like any relationship has the trappings of a good, healthy, nutritive, fulfilling love, and every relationship doesn't have that. You know, and women get shamed for dating and narrowing down her options. You know what? As you all know, I am at the moment, I am still in the process of readying myself and lifting up my life and getting into alignment. And my husband is coming forward for me, and I have a feeling he's coming soon, right? And many of you have the same feeling as well. And because of that, you know, there have been a lot of men who have been coming forward. I don't know what, they've just started coming out of the woodworks, right? Just coming for your girl, right? I got the natural, see that? This is what people pay good money to contour for, but I'm just going to go and further chisel that contour, boys and girls. So anyway, right? There have been a lot of men who have been coming out of the woodworks. And with that, right, I get to see what's out there on the street, because so many people are like, oh, I'm going to listen to a person who's been married for 20 years. Nah, baby. You listen to a person who got married 20 years ago. They don't know what's going on out here in these streets today. Listen to your girl. I'm going to tell you what's going on out there in these streets. All right? We got a lot of men with a lack of integrity. We got a lot of men with a lack of follow through. I'm getting these text messages, boys and girls, text messages with no follow through, having the whole entire relationship in text message. And listen, you know what? Whole entire relationship in text message. And I speak out. I say, oh, I tell them what it is that I need. I need you to be able, I need you to contact, I need you to call, I need this, that, and the other, right? But a man is going to be a man, and a man is going to do what a man is going to do, right? And if he is operating and running this relationship through text messaging, that's his modus operandi. That's what he feels comfortable with. As the person who is hoping to be head of some household or leader or whatever, he's showing you how it is that he gets down. He's showing you what's most comfortable for him, his natural inclination, how it is that he generally operates, right? And it's like you can speak up and you can tell a person what it is that you need, and it's up to them to then rise to that. But then there's a caveat. Will they then revert? Will they revert back to what's most natural for them and most comfortable for them anyway? Will they? Will they? You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, I just observe and I see how it is that they're courting. And I'll tell you what it is that I'm coming into contact with. I'm coming into contact with people who do not have follow through. They say they're going to do something and they don't do it. You know, and the crazy part about it is people are like, oh, Tonya, you're bitter. You hate black men, this, that, and the other. And the crazy part about that is, no, I do not hate black men. I actually love black men. I love black men. Right? I love being black. I love the black experience. I love the being Caribbean American. I love it. I love it. Right? I love it. I love it. Right? However, I cannot love someone else at my expense. I love you, but I love me more. I wrote that book, the Book of Affirmation Self-Love. I don't want to touch it right now because I got little makeups and stuff on my fingertips. So the Book of Affirmation Self-Love is a workbook that I wrote to help you rewrite your subconscious program. I talk about this in all of my videos. Because, you know, it's like we go along. And it's like if you're born and raised into a situation, that is what seems normal to you. If you want to get out of that rearing, because you know something ain't right. If your life is not in alignment, if you know that you could be more than what it is that you are right now, have more, something is out of alignment. And if you want to get into alignment, if you have patterns and habits that have been there since you were a child, how do you get out of that? And you get out of it with things like my book. It's an affirmations book where you rewrite the affirmation, and there's workbook pages in there for you to really dig into yourself. You know, there are people who talk about how the importance of words, but after seeing that mother who was calling her child ugly, right? I decided that I'm going to change my stance on that. Because words are one thing, but what are the feelings behind those words, right? So we have words and then we have the feelings behind the words. So it's important to not just say the words, but what feeling are you pushing behind those words? Because words are one thing, but the feeling behind it, that's where the money is right there. That's how you manifest right there. By pulling forth that feeling, right? So here we have this young lady, and I didn't think that this person was real. I said, this person must be a troll. So I went to her Twitter page, right? Because her Twitter handle is right there. And I went to her Twitter page, and I took a look to see what she was all about, right? And so she's one of those new age Hotepians who are all about, so her handle is Sister Righteous. I hold men accountable, right? And this is the thing, right? We are all in a different stage of awareness, right? And there's some people, like in The Sixth Sense, where he said, I see dead people. But the thing is, they don't know that they're dead. When it comes to being awake, I see sleep people. But keep this in mind, and this right here is probably one of the most important parts of the video, right? People who are asleep don't know that they're asleep. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. They don't know. They don't know. They think that they are awake. And you know what? And I'll say this, to be fair, we are all at different stages of wakeness, right? We're all at different stages of wakeness. How do you know how woke you are? Take a look at your life. Is there alignment in your life? Are there synchronicities in your life? Are you happy? Are you joy-filled? Are you fulfilled, right? Are you in a state of longing and desperation for something that exists outside of you? You know, I lived in my car 2016. The whole entire year I lived in my car, right? And before I lived in my car, I was at a certain level of wakeness myself, right? But I needed life to come in and say, baby, there's still some more waking that you need to do. Because I had all of these hang-ups about money and all of this stuff. I thought that the amount of money that I had, you know, was I was aligned with the amount of money that I had. I thought that that was an indication of how good of a person I am, or how powerful I am, or all of this other stuff, right? And I realized that I had to realize, in coming out of that situation, I had to realize I had to grow even in myself and realize that not having money doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. Not having money doesn't mean that I'm an F up and I'm a messed up person, I'm a loser, all this other stuff, right? Like, there are people who come out on my videos and they talk about the fact that I live in an RV. I live on the road. I live off the grid. I live in an RV. And there are people who are like, oh, you look at you, making fun, or in their own way thinking that they're making fun, right? And then I ask myself, well, let me ask, where is it that I should live? Should I live in an apartment paying someone else's mortgage? Should I live in a house renting, paying someone else's mortgage? Should I live on one piece of land, stuck and stagnant in that one piece of land, and be able to be found? Listen, I don't want to put it like that. And be in one place, predictable, going to work 12 hours a day, 60 hours a week, working to pay the rent or the bills or the car note and all that other stuff? Or should I live how I choose to live and be free and live according to my own, be free and be able to be on the road and have a new city, a new state be my home, be able to wake up to sunrises in beautiful, beautiful landscape? Should I be able to do that? Right? So it's like, we've got to challenge our own belief system. Because this young lady, when I was looking at her page, she was talking about how if her daughter walk around the house with no bra and panties on in front of her man, she gonna have to get out and go live with her father and all this, that, and the other. If her teenage daughter was doing this, and so that gives the assumption there that the person that she's walking around in front of is not her father. So right there, she's already talking about a broken home structure. Fragmented home structure where another man has come and deposited his child here, while you are laying up now with another man who your now teenage daughter has to get out. She got to get out if she gonna walk around no bra in front of your mans, right? Because your penis is a homes, right? So instead of having a conversation with your teenage daughter and being able to be in alignment with what is appropriate, what is inappropriate, puberty, the budding female body, aligning yourself with a man who sees your daughter as his own, so that there's not an inappropriate thought that comes into his mind. It's like, we think so lowly of black men. because the person that she's talking about is a black man, because that's all that she will be with, right? According to her own point of view, right? So we have this woman here. We have this woman here who believes that she is awake. She's calling people coons and coonettes and all this. So she'd rather be in an abusive, toxic relationship. And it's like, men know. Men know, and they know, and they don't feel like they got to bring much. And when you have this point of view, all you really do is encourage mediocre, subpar, and even regressive, harmful, hurtful, abusive, and toxic behavior. Because she even states it there. She would rather be with an abusive, toxic black man than to date outside of her race. And then she says, to each his own, I guess. Not even to each her own. Because the mentality that she's coming from is a part of the toxic patriarchy. It's a part of the toxic masculinity patriarchy. To each his own. She tried her best with black men. So it's like you have two options. You have two options. You become a single mother and be like, oh, okay, well, I just wanted to get my Negroid children. Or you wait so long trying to find this thing that doesn't exist, staying in your brokenness, because the people that you attract are a reflection of your own, of what's going on inside of you. Staying in your brokenness, waiting to find a person who you feel is above par, and then waiting until your fertility begins to dwindle. And it's like we're not setting the precedent for these people to, let me not even say these people, we're not setting the precedent for black men to rise up, and be protectors and providers, because we're telling them, we'll take you toxic and all. One-sided loyalty is for suckers. One-sided loyalty is for suckers. So they know, and they know because they feel like all I have to do is be employed. Sometimes not even that. All I got to do is bring this big black D and be cute. That's all I got to do. Bring the big black D, be cute. Say some words. Sometimes I could come home. Sometimes I don't need to. I've got many different women. Oh, I was telling you. Some of the things that I'm seeing nowadays is inconsistency, lack of integrity, a man's word not being his bond. He says he's going to do something and he doesn't do it. I see men behaving in a manner that is not respectable. Not respectable. So at what point does loving you become self-hating to me? You know what I'm saying? At what point does loving you become self-abuse? Do I need to say that again? At what point does loving you become self-abuse? So that I'm now self-abusing through this relationship by giving you quote unquote love. That ain't love if you're abusing yourself to be in it. That ain't love. That ain't love if you're abusing yourself to be in it. That ain't love, right? So I'm seeing a lot of inconsistency. I'm seeing a lot of behavior that's not respectable. I cannot respect this type of behavior, right? So it's like we have a group of men, and then the thing is they come into the situation thinking that their crap does not smell, because we let it be known that it doesn't. Your crap does not smell. Or it does smell, but I'm going to breathe it in and call it sunshine. I'm going to breathe it in and call it sunshine, right? So it's like, black women, we've got to do better. Because we are the gatekeepers for life, we determine what type of life these children are coming into. And what would it, you know what, I watched these Black Panther documentaries and docuseries, etc. I love them. Because it was beautiful to see black men holding up the mantle of manhood, right? Picking up arms and protecting their neighborhoods. Now, what do we have? We are letting black men know, oh, we are still willing to give birth to babies into the ghettos. We are willing to give birth to Negroid children who will not be cared for. We are willing. We are willing to support you, get on the front lines, fight for you, die for you, And then on the flip side, are they willing to do the same for you, sis? It's like, at what point do we start holding men accountable for the protection of our neighborhoods? Huh? At what point? At what point do we start saying, you know what, we demand better? How are we going to keep having children to men who are not protecting these children? How? How, Sway? Help me understand this. If you're not protecting your children financially, physically, in these neighborhoods, you got men. Listen, I've lived in black neighborhoods. I've lived in black neighborhoods with black men on the stoop. Your children trying to come back and forth between school, and you got these black men on the stoops selling narcotics. I'll never forget when I saw. So these men, this is what they were doing, what I saw when I lived in Harlem. They would stand on the stoop, right? They had a brown paper bag with the narcotics in it that they then went and put up in the wheel well of someone's car that was parked there. Not even their own car. They put their narcotics up in the wheel well of somebody else's car. So that if worse come to worse, the person whose registration is on there has to deal with the fallout, right? Oh, God, hold on.